It's a sequel, therefore it's not as good, right? So there's this thing that sequels are never as good as the original, and actually that's not always true. Sadly, it was true for Dark Souls 2. It came out last year, and the remastered edition, Scholar of the First Sin, is actually it literally came out a few days ago. So I thought, what better time to have a quick look back at Dark Souls 2. Yes, it is not as good as the original. So the thing about Dark Souls 2 is that it is basically the same as Dark Souls 1. It is just more Dark Souls 1, and yet, weirdly enough, every aspect is just slightly diminished. Visually, the game is it's a bit washed out. The textures aren't as sharp. It just doesn't look as good, nor is the artistic direction as inspired as the first game. The audio design is, once again, I mean, most of the sound effects are basically copy-pasted. The music is excellent, but once again, just not quite as good. The gameplay is pretty much identical, but because the design of the world and the enemy designs are not as brilliant, it still feels a little bit less. It still feels a little bit less brilliant than Dark Souls 1. The storytelling, once again, is done the same unconventional way. You really have to be looking for it, and I once again really enjoyed that, but it's just not as breathtaking as the story was in the original Dark Souls as well. So there really is very little to say about Dark Souls 2. It is the same, but basically a kind of a lower grade, just one step below in basically every single area. What's different is probably the most important things to talk about. First of all, the game is no longer this interconnecting open world with shortcuts opening. You basically have a hub area and a bunch of ways to go that all lead to dead ends. As a result of that, you can walk between a bonfire that you've already rested at from the very beginning, and you can only level up from the hub world, which is really annoying because it means that you have to face a loading screen every time you want to go level up. You can now light torches at bonfires, which will light dark areas, and some enemies are afraid of fire. Weapons will now degrade really, really quickly, but they also repair automatically whenever you rest at a bonfire. You can now do this. There's a dual wielding aspect. The dual wielding aspect is more fleshed out in this. But yeah, that's kind of it. Apart from those little changes, the game is the same. If you just wanted more Dark Souls, then you should absolutely check this out. It's a fantastic game in its own right, and it's another 40, 50, 60 hours of Dark Souls. If you were going to pick one and play one, obviously you'd play Dark Souls 1, however. The key thing to take away from this, like I already said, is that it is Dark Souls, just slightly less good. But it is still brilliant. This is not a bad game, this is not a bad sequel. If you like Dark Souls, you should play Dark Souls 2. The game has the unfortunate fate of having to be compared to the original, but it is still a fantastic game in its own right, and it is a worthy sequel. Overall, I rate Dark Souls 2 at 8 out of 10. Like I already said, everything is just a slight step down, which is a pity, but if you wanted more of the same, you will not be disappointed. So guys, thank you so much for watching. This was a very short review because I really don't feel the need to say much about Dark Souls 2 apart from what's different from the original. What did you think though? What did you think of those changes? Also, did you absolutely hate this game just because it was inferior, or did you appreciate it for the fantastic game it was in its own right? Do let me know. Once again, as always, I will have a link to my full written review on my blog in the description down here, so check that out if you want to. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Take care.